It's Saturday and it is Cacoa Tea Day. Hope you guys are doing good. Weather-wise, dude, it is hot. It's blazing hot in Toronto. It's 34 degrees Celsius. So that is like super duper hot. And yeah, so if you are in any place or anywhere where it's really hot, make sure you stay hydrated because I personally don't like that excessive heat. I like my heat with a little bit of breeze, which is why I love the nature aisle. But needless to say, we just gotta keep cool and drink lots of water. Make sure you stay in a cool place if you can. Try to avoid going outside. I went outside like once for the day and I was like, it's okay, I think I'll stay indoors in the air conditioning where it's nice and cool. I want to say a special good afternoon to every single person who's coming in. If you're just joining me, I want to welcome you to Cacoa Tea. It is a memorable day for me. Besides the fact that it's the end of the month for everybody else, when everybody else gets paid, it is my final show of the season. So the next season is hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, we'll be back on in September. So today is like my last show for a few months until we meet again, until we see again. I don't know what's going to be different for the next season. I really and truly I can't even tell you what to expect or how it's going to be or who's going to be on, or I can't tell you anything because I personally don't know anything. I mean, I started this show on somewhat of a whim. I spent the latter part of my pregnancy doing research for this show, figuring out how I was going to make it work in terms of the logistics, in terms of making it dynamic, in terms of who I was going to have on, the types of guests, the style. I had absolutely no idea that it was going to work. I tried it and I'm happy I did. I had a great 3-month run because we started this off in March. I launched my website in February and then I started this off in March. And I must say that it has been a lovely couple of months. And I hope that I can come back in September and give you guys another season of Cacoa Tea. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. I've been doing this show. Well, I wanted to do the show from my heart. I really believe in helping entrepreneurs and helping people expose themselves, get some more to know people. I like to get to know people, and what I found is that a lot of times in the Black community, we tend to not want to uplift each other. We tend to not want to give back in the sense of, hey, let somebody else. Put somebody else out there so they can do better than you. We tend to have the mindset that we need to always be on top. And my mother used to say it's a crab in the bucket mentality. And I really did not want to come off as, I have this talent, I have this gift, which I'm so grateful to the Most High, for giving me. I really wanted to be able to do something to give back. Of course, eventually I hope I can make money off of it. It is something I continue to do, but that was not the plan. So I'm so grateful to people who've reached out and people who found the show interesting. I have actually been approached by a network in New York who wants to carry the show. So I'm very happy about that. They have an online streaming platform for TV, radio, and something else. I got the contract. The contract is in my inbox right now. I just have to sign so I can actually talk about it. So I'm going to take it on and put this show out there so people can know more about our beautiful people of the Caribbean. Because as you know, if you followed my show over the last couple of months, I feature every single person, especially from the Caribbean. And I want to open it up to everyone. It doesn't matter what race you are, what or your ethnic background, or your what island you're from. I want to be able to open it up to everyone. But I wanted to start off with my people, and I'm so happy that everyone who tuned in. And if you subscribe to the channel, I'm happy. I'm grateful to you for doing that. I'm a little nervous today. I don't know why. I don't know why. If it's because my last show, I'm actually like fingering my hands, like as if when they put you in front of a stage and you're supposed to give a speech and you start to mamote and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's what's happening to me right now. That's what's happening to me right now. But I'm so thankful, folks. Thanks to those of you who shared my video. I mean, I see who shares the videos. I see who supports, which is why I like going on Facebook, using the Facebook medium, because you really get to see who really got your back and who really don't, because people I would have expected to share my videos, they were the ones that I was seeing looking at the videos, but not actually sharing it. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, you know who you be. All right. So, but I got to enjoy the last couple of months, and I hope I can come back in September and give you more content, give you more shows. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2.5 months, because so many things change so quickly for everyone. I mean, who would have thought I would be here where I am now? A few months ago, when Maria struck Dominica and I was on the island, so you never know where life's gonna take you, and I'm just gonna take it one day at a time and just be hopeful that I get to see you guys, or you get to see me again sometime soon. I just want to get straight into the show now. I want to, first of all, thank the guys out there in Barbados, Capriculture. I'm going to shout out Jason, Mr. Sims, and his entire gang who've put on a carnival band, Capriculture, for Crop Over 2018. Over the last couple of weeks, people had an opportunity to win a free costume. Compliments Capriculture. If you have not shared the video and followed the links and subscribed to the channels, it's very easy and simple to do so. So it's up to you if you want to do it and get your chance to win yourself a free costume for Crop Over. All the information is right on my page. It's on my timeline. You can check it out. And I hope that somebody wins, a deserving someone wins their self. I'm actually, okay, well, I'm laughing, right? I'm looking at my lobby, and my guest is in my lobby, and she's making all these faces, so I can actually, it's so funny because I can't hear her, but I can see her, and she's making all these faces. So when I said about the costume, she's like, me, like she wants to win costume. But my guest is on. Hi, Martina Royer. Hi, Hermine Williams. The folks who are coming on, say hi, tell me hi, say hi, drop a line, tell me where you're from, or how you doing, and if it's your first time, I'd like to know. And if you've been on every single time, I would also love to know, about your experience, and if you enjoyed the show, and give me some feedback on the show for the last couple of months. I also want to big up my people who always support. I mean, I have like a handful of people who've been there, like when I tell you there, like Sarah Valentine out there in the UK, I'm always sharing my stuff, my girl Elon Hilaire out there in the US of A, thank you so very much. I don't want to call everybody. I might not call everybody, but I love you, right? Jazino, my cousin out there in Alberta, who always he was there from the start, and making sure that he if he can't make the show, he will send me a message and say, I didn't see the show, but I'm going to watch it later on, and so, but thank you so very much, guys. If I forget names, I'm sorry, but I love you, and I am so grateful to all of you for coming on and enjoying. We're just joined by Karen Lewis Lanford. She says, I'm new to watching you, and you're doing an awesome job. I saw your interview with Carlin XP after the fact. It was good vibes. Thank you very much. for your views. Thank you very much for showing up, and coming on. And Martina is there from New York City, NYC, locked in. I think my guests bring out all the New York people came out today. All the New York people, wait, let me change my accent. All the folks from New York. They're here. Yo, my sister-in-law is from New York, and when she's like hardcore New York, when she speaks, like I just look at her like, what are you saying? Because she's so hardcore. So I sometimes say, let me see if I can talk like Janine. Let me see if I can throw some lines down like Janine. And she's actually the one who linked up the deal with the network in New York City. She's been following the show. She loves the show. She called up her people. She's been in movies. She's been in plays. She's doing her thing in New York City. And she's like, you got to do this, Jay. You got to do this. And she linked it up. So thank you very much, Janine Winston. Yes, for hooking your sister up. I might have some lipstick on my teeth today because I usually use like the matte lipsticks that don't come on your teeth and stuff. But today I was like, let me try out this new one. I made this lipstick today. So, I made up the color and it keeps going on my teeth. So if you see me doing this, don't mind, I'm just trying to make sure. My guest is looking at me like, what are you doing? Let's get into the show. It's time for Cacoa Tea. I'm going to be bringing in my guest right about now because she's waiting for us patiently. She's waiting to be here on the show, and here she is. Hi, you heard me,
guys.
Yeah. And she's been waiting patiently in the lobby. Look at her skin, all glowing. Like,
I mean, I had to. The weather is hot,
She's like, are you like in the Caribbean somewhere?
I'm trying to.
You're channeling the Caribbean about now.
I'm channeling, exactly.
Well, I like to start off every single show by telling you how I met my guests, how I know my guests. Carvel, who is actually my family from Dominica, she has been following. I want to big up Carvel as well. She follows the show and she shares the links and everything. And she sent me a message. She goes, Jael, I know you probably booked all your guests and whatever. But I have this woman and I think you need to meet her. I think she'd be great for his show and blah, blah, blah. And then Juanita, who's here right now, was featured on a magazine, which she'll tell you a little bit about during the show. And she was like, I think you should interview her and stuff. So I said, well, give her my contact and whatever, and let's link up and whatever. And we did. We spoke via WhatsApp, and then I think she watched my show first, and then she decided, oh yeah, it's something I'd like to do, because I don't like to force anything on anybody. I usually send them, say, look at the show, tell me if something that you could do, if it's something that you're willing to think. I mean, at the end of the day, it's exposing yourself. I'm not really. I mean, of course, I'm getting some views and stuff, but it doesn't really do nothing for me, But I was like, let me know if it's something that you'd like to do. And she's like, yeah, I love your vibe. Yes, definitely. And then that was it. And when initially I was thinking, okay, probably I will get her on for the next season, because my season was practically like booked off, because what I did was I tried to get guests for all my shows months in advance. So I was planning on having a total of 15 shows, and that was it for the season, right? And I just said, you know what? Something just told me, just open it up. Put 2 more shows in there, and I just opened it up, and I booked her, and I booked somebody else, and that was it. And that was it. I just felt like I needed her now and not wait till September. So I'm good. I'm happy to have her here. We met for the first time online last night, in terms of face to face, when we did the tests and stuff, and we were on for probably almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 15 minutes, turned into like a whole hour, which was great.
And after I got off, I started to feel bad, because I'm like, she worked like a full 16-hour shift or something, and I had her on for so long. I'm like, sorry for keeping you on.
No,
So,
totally fine. Totally fine.
stuff. But I'm so happy to have her on. We have Juanita Lewis is on with us today, and she's gonna tell you all about who she is. We're gonna be we have everything on the table, right?
Yes.
Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. You have your Cacoa tea?
Yep, I have my Cacoa tea right here.
Mine?
And I'll be sipping.
You see my mug? I just want okay, I got this like a few days ago. Let me see if I can like how do I put it so that you see it? Let's see. So I got this a few days ago, and someone who's been watching the show decided that they were tired of watching my white mug. So they did a mug for me, and it says,
Nice.
and they're like, well, if you have people who want, they can order as well. So if you want a mug from Cacoa Tea, DM me, send me a direct message. I'll let you know how you can get a mug from Cacoa Tea. So I want to say thank you very much to the person who hooked it up, and they do that as well. So it's something that they do as a job. So if you want to hook it up and you want to get your own Cacoa Tea mug, let me know. I think it's gonna come in like 2 other colors, white and gray. So so let us know and send me a direct message, and we will hook it up for you. Yeah, for sure. So let me see your mug.
Here's mine. It says keep calm and call the PA. Hey. But I'm gonna need one of your mugs though.
Awesome. Yes. So we're gonna be sipping through the rest of the next hour or so. I never put a timestamp on the show. I always tell them an hour, but it always ends up going over an hour because you start talking and that's the end of it. But I just want to say, thank you so very much to you, Juanita, for being on with us. I read through your stuff. I checked out your website, and as a fellow Dominican, I'm so proud, of everything that you're doing, all of your accomplishments. It's like, when my Dominican women accomplish things, I feel like it's me too. It's like
same.
Yes. It's just it's an awesome vibe, and I'm happy that you're doing great things where you are. And guys, if you'd like to follow Juanita, if you'd like to get her on Facebook, check out her website. Her website is amazing. It's her full name, juanitaluis.com. You can check her out on Facebook, you can check her out on Instagram. All her social media handles are in the box above. So you just click on the links right there and you can get in touch with her, or you could check out her site, her different handles, as well as following her and getting to know a little bit more than you will not get to on the show, because I think we're going to talk about everything, right? Right. So I'm going to shut up now and let Juanita do the talking. But first, before we get into the swing of things, I want to find out about my guests. And a lot of times, someone said to me, why you always ask people who they are, like, why do you always start your show up? And I never thought about it until the person actually asked me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I know why I do. Because everybody always has, and they feel like they know who everybody is. So I might say, hey, I know who Juanita is, She's this model girl, this PA, living in New York and blah, blah, blah. But is that really who the person is? Is that how you really look at yourself? Mm. You might look at yourself completely different to how the outside world may view you. Or you might be on the same page as the outside world. So I prefer to get it from the horse's mouth. Who is Juanita?
Well, I just want to start by saying thank you so much for having me. And thanks to Curvel for the connection. When she reached out and she was like, I think you should be on that show, I checked your show and I was like, of course. Why would I not want to be on your show? You have an awesome vibe. And it was just, amazing. And I'm like, yes, I definitely want to be on your show. So thank you, Curvel, for hooking it up. And thank you, Jael, for having me.
Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it.
Of course, yes. Of course. So I'll jump right into it. I would describe myself, I'm a God-fearing person. I am hardworking. I am passionate. I am this amazing, God-fearing woman, and I am a physician assistant who specializes in medicine. I do hospital medicine, and I also model. I do print and runway. Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about you as a child when you were growing up. Where were you born? Where were you raised? Give us a little history. We need some tea.
Okay, well, I was born in Roseau, Dominica, not to be confused with Dominican Republic. A lot of people always confuse the two, especially since my name is such a Spanish name. I say my name is Juanita, and they're like, oh, DR. I was like, no, it's the Nature Isle. So I grew up there. And as a child, I just remember just being like so happy and always being outside. Like, I just enjoyed the outdoors. You would find me either like playing marble hole with the guys, playing like I Declare with like the girls on the playing field, playing cricket. Like, I was just always found outside. And on like summer vacations and holidays, I would also spend some time in Pitted Savan with my grandparents on my dad's side. So I had a little bit of both. I had like the city life in Roseau, and I also had a little bit of the country girl. So I would think I had, the best of both worlds.
Awesome. And when did you decide to leave Dominica? At what age did you move out of Dominica?
So right after high school, I always knew the plan was to move to New York, where my dad resided. So after high school, I graduated 16, going on 17, and then I moved to New York to pursue my college education.
Okay. And now I want to, before we get into New York life, because I know New York life is a fast life.
Yes.
I want to find out a little bit about you as a child. Mm-hmm. Besides the fact that you loved marble hole and all these things. Besides that, what was a typical day for you as a 10-year-old, for example?
Okay, so a typical day, I'll give you like a typical Saturday. So it would be like my mom and I waking up early, cleaning the house, and like I clearly remember going to Astapan's. We would go grocery shopping, and it would take us like, I'm not even kidding you, maybe about 3 hours. We would go from aisle to aisle. She would do her grocery shopping. I would be like in the book aisle. And like my favorite books were Sweet Valley High. I'm not sure if you remember that whole series.
Yes.
But I would have like a few of them in there. And I would, by the time we get to the checkout, I would have at least read one. So I would put that one back, and like the ones that I didn't read, I would have it in the cart. And, that was like our typical day, just like going to Astapan, shopping. And then on Sundays was like beach days. So we would go to the beach, pack up all the sandwiches, make the cheese paste, and take a drive up to the beach. And like our favorite beach was Mero Beach. Like that was our thing. We'd go chill and just like relax until, the new week started.
It's funny that you put so much light on Astapan's, because the last 2 years I was a brand ambassador for Astapan.
Oh, really? I clearly remember going. Like that was an event. Like Saturdays were like Astapan's.
Oh my God! I always find it using that the guests and we always seem to connect on something that is like so awesome. So weird that you singled out Astapan's out of all the places. That you could have gone shopping in the.
It was a big deal.
So you moved to New York. When did you actually decide that you wanted a career in medicine?
So growing up, like I was always intrigued by the human body. Like in high school, I remember I really enjoyed biology, and I knew I wanted to do something in medicine. I just wasn't sure like what direction that would take me. I toyed with the idea of either being a doctor or a dentist, and I wasn't really sure, but I knew like I just wanted to do something to do with the body. And so medicine just felt like a natural shift and a natural, fit for me.
Okay. And were you influenced, or were you mentored into it, or did you just say, okay, it's a natural, because medicine is expensive for one.
It is. It is.
Secondly, you have to have the grades, right? So
yeah, that's true.
Process getting into med school.
So I didn't get into med school, so it's different. So I went into PA school. So I was influenced, I would say, by my dad. So education from like a young age was always, enforced. And we always knew like, you had to go to school, you had to get your education. But like toying with the idea of medicine. When I got into college, I remember finding out how many years it took to become a doctor. And back then it seemed like an eternity to me. So I was like, Then I met this young lady while I was an undergrad at St. John's University. And she told me all about the PA profession, which basically is physician associate or physician assistant. And it was like a perfect fit because it, allowed me to pursue my career in medicine. But at the same time, I was able to move, at ease through the specialties and not having to spend what seemed like an eternity in school. So I definitely had a mentor in college, and being a PA was like the perfect fit because I felt like I had the best of both worlds. I could do medicine and, not have to go to school for, over 10 years.
Okay, so tell us, give us a little background on the physician assistant, because another young person might be out there with similar concerns as you, or similar views like you, and they really want to consider, medicine, probably want to become a doctor, but they probably, because to be quite honest with you, I'd never heard of physician assistant. I just think everybody's doctor. There's a nurse, there's a ward aide, and that's about it,
Yeah.
Everybody specializes in different things in terms of if you're a doctor or whatever.
Right.
But that's as much as I'm interested in knowing, because that's as much as I've actually opened up myself to.
Right.
My mom was a nurse, and I was never interested in anything to do with
with medicine. Yeah. So basically a PA, physician associate or physician assistant, they study the same way as doctors do, but the years of education is much less. So it's sort of like an expedited program, expedited med school. So, and another difference is that when we train as PAs, we can go into any field. So when I did my training, I did OBGYN, I did surgery, I did internal medicine, I did family practice. So I got to do everything. So if, next year I decided, I don't want to do internal medicine anymore. I want to do OBGYN. I have the ease of going to that specialty without having to train, let's say, another 5 years in residency as doctors would normally do.
So would you say that is like an easier option, or it's a little bit more difficult?
So I would say it's difficult in the sense that it's pretty much like med school squished into like half the year. But at the same time, if you're focused and you know what you want, I think it's a great alternative. And it sort of like bridges the gap between nurses and doctors. So we can pretty much do the same things the doctors do. We see patients, we prescribe prescriptions, we diagnose, we treat, but we have to work alongside the doctors. So we're a little bit, we're sort of like mid-level practitioners. So we're above the nurses, but we're slightly beneath the doctors. But we work together, and, our goal is, basically the patients and taking care of patients.
Thank you very much for clarifying that. I want to, before we get too much into your work and your life and stuff in New York, I know I keep going back and forth, but I really wanted to find out about how you transition, because I have a lot of friends who left America, including me. We left America and moved to North America. Some went to the States, some went to Canada, wherever. You moved to England, whatever. Yeah. I found that a lot of like my cousins and friends, and even myself included, went to the States. There was a lot of pressure on you to sort of because you told that, your education is lower than what we're doing. You gotta be pulled back. You got to go back in that grade, because like you rightly mentioned, you left high school at 16. I had the exact same thing happen to me. Right. And of course, going in, and for everything that I've had to do, I've always had to do an extra course to kind of sort of prove that I'm capable of handling the work. Well, how was the transition like for you, leaving Dominica, moving to New York, and even getting into university or college and university, and even becoming a PA?
Right. So, I had the same issue leaving high school. One, because, you know, we graduate so young. Everyone is like, oh my God, you're 16. Whereas home, that's like the normal thing. Everyone graduates at 16. So I started like pretty much from the bottom. I went to a community college. I went to Borough of Manhattan Community College. I got my associate's degree in sciences and liberal arts. And then I transferred to St. John's University, where I got my bachelor's degree in science and physician assistant studies. And then I did my graduate program at Pace University in physician assistant studies. So it was definitely a process. And I think part of it was, you know, coming from the Caribbean and having to prove that you are capable. But I think I was able to transition, you know, without a problem. But I definitely had to start from the bottom and work my way up.
Do you have any advice for persons who might be in the same situation as you were once?
I would definitely tell them, well, now the internet is a lot better than what it used to be. Definitely look into schools, look into the career that you're interested in, and just look at the schools that provide those careers and those curriculum and visit them. You know, they have it where you can, you know, just go to the colleges and ask questions and pick their brains, ask questions, do your research, and visit them. Yeah, that would be my advice to them.
Great. Okay, so we're getting into the swing of things. I want to know, when you were in university, what was your fondest moments?
My fondest memories was just being shocked at how different everyone was. You know, coming from Dominica, everyone kind of looked the same, and going into college, I mean, it's not like it's anything bad, but everyone kind of looks like you. So you're used to that. But moving to New York, everyone looked so different, and they were from all walks of life, like old, like 60s, 70s, all in the same class from different backgrounds, and just creating those friendships and getting feedback from them was like one of the most memorable moments I could never forget, because I don't think I would have had that experience staying in Dominica. And New York is known for its melting pot. So just meeting everyone was, you know, amazing.
Did you ever feel like giving up, or even like being overwhelmed with work? Was there ever a moment where you couldn't feel like, oh, I can't do this anymore?
It was definitely a culture shock, because coming from Dominica, I felt like I knew everyone on the entire island. To move into New York and like barely even knowing my neighbors, it was very different. People are not as friendly as they were back home, and you sort of had to have that tough persona to make it. I was very shy but still friendly, but moving to New York, I had to like have a voice for myself and, you know, put on this like tough girl skin and, you know, in order to make it. So it was definitely a culture shock. Also the weather, I'll never get used to it. Those winter months definitely made it rough. I'm a summer girl. I was born in August, so I loved summer all year round, and New York weather, other than the fashion, I don't really like it. So that was, you know, that took a bit getting used to.
Okay, I wanted to talk about your modeling a little bit.
Yeah.
But before I do, is there anybody you look up to, or was there anybody in your past that you absolutely looked up to? Like any heroes, anybody that you absolutely, you know, adored?
Okay, so definitely my parents. I know it sounds really cliche, but like my parents are definitely my heroes. Like my mom was like so strong and so loving. I looked up to her. I'm like, you're not human. How are you like so perfect? And my dad, for him just being such a force in our family and always sacrificing and putting his family first, they definitely are my heroes. And Naomi Campbell, like she is like the fashion icon, like the Naomi Campbell walk. Everyone knows, like she is one of those, you know, people that I definitely look up to. So I would say these three people are my heroes, my parents and Naomi Campbell.
Well, I don't think it's cliche saying that, because I say the exact same thing, and and after them, I don't think there's anybody else. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, there are people that I love what they do, but I don't think I can put them on the same pedestal. You know, so
yeah.
But Good to know that you love that Naomi, and she's feisty too, eh?
She is feisty, yes, and I love it.
You spoke about modeling, and you are also a model. What made you get into modeling?
So I always loved the camera and fashion, and that comes from my mom. Like, I clearly remember as a child, like every single birthday, she would dress me up and take me to either Deepak's photo lab or Clark. And we would go and we would have our photo shoot. Like, she didn't care what happened. I remember one birthday, I was sick and I was like, oh, Mom, I don't feel well. She's like, well, we have our photo shoot. Like, what do you mean you don't feel well? We're going to do the photo shoot. You can come back home and sleep. And like, I look back at those pictures and I was smiling and posing. No one would ever know that I was sick. But I like clearly remember like that was our thing. Like every birthday we'd have our photo shoot. So I think it stemmed from that. And then moving to New York, which is like the fashion, capital of the world, it was just perfect. I had gotten recruited on my way to college, actually, by one of the scouts. I went to a casting, got selected for like Wilhelmina modeling company, which is like one of the big modeling companies in New York. But then I had to make the decision because I had just started college and I wanted to, focus my time on my studies and do well. Coming from Dominica, it's hard enough. So you definitely want to get all A's and prove yourself. So I felt I couldn't juggle both. So I had to put modeling, on hold for a while. But it was definitely always at the back of my mind. So I knew as soon as I was done with school, like I was ready now.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you decided after school, I'm going to. What sort of modeling do you identify with?
Okay, so I definitely identify with fashion. So I do print, which means I represent brands. I do a lot of photo shoots, do a lot of work with magazines, and I also do runway. So I do runway shows, and so print and fashion. Print and runway would be what I identify with.
Is it ever easy or difficult getting gigs? Tell us a little bit about gigs you've done and what happened. I want the teeth. Because I hear so much drama happening.
I know a lot happens. So there are a lot of gigs out there, especially in New York. But I definitely am very picky with the gigs that I do. I don't just do gigs just to do them. It has to definitely be supportive of my brand and my image. And if, I feel like it's the right fit, then I select it. But New York definitely has a lot of gigs. And a lot of it, too, is who you know, believe it or not. When you work with a lot of, designers and makeup artists and stylists and photographers, and you build that rapport with them, they recommend you to their designer friends. And it's like, they're like, oh, I worked with Juanita. She's great. I would recommend her. So a lot of it is word of mouth and who you know. Like, it's a big fashion world in New York, but at the same time, it's small because a lot of designers know other designers. So they talk about, who they work with and what their experience is, and they recommend you. So I've definitely gotten a lot of gigs, and I've done a lot of shows. Backstage is always chaotic. When you see the show and everything runs smoothly, I'm telling you, backstage is always chaos. You literally have like 2 seconds to change. So you like fling clothes, fling underwear, change, and you're on the stage and no one knows. But that's the beauty of it. You transition. I feel like I'm a different person when I'm on the runway. I get to like be a different character with the clothes that I, wear and just, do my thing on the runway.
That is awesome. That is okay. I know you said it's chaotic. I want to hear about drama. Any drama?
So I'll be honest with you. There's still a lot of racism in the modeling world. When you get selected for shows, they only choose like a handful of dark-skinned models, and they always have like a sort of quota that they want. So let's say they want like four dark-skinned models for their show. After that, that's it. So, Naomi Campbell has broken a lot of barriers for people of color, but we still have a long way to go. And you'll be surprised, even, certain designers from, that are same complexion as you and same skin color as you will be the ones that are like, no, I want that one over that one, even if you meet the criteria. So they'll be like, okay, you need to be at least 5'9", but the light skin model is a bit shorter. They might select that light skin model. So there's still, unfortunately, a lot of colorism and a lot of racism still with modeling, but we've definitely, gotten a long way, have come a long way, but still have, a long way to go.
How about a girl with her natural hair? Like,
yeah.
I absolutely love your hair.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. I mean, even your pictures and stuff with your hair, it's so nice and it looks so healthy and full and
Thanks. Thank you so much.
It's about working in that industry with natural hair.
Yeah, so that's another thing too with hair. So a lot of shows, especially for New York Fashion Week, I'm sure a lot of you guys know, like New York Fashion Week is like a big deal. So whenever I'm selected for shows in New York Fashion Week, usually my hair has to be slicked down in a ponytail because they don't want the hair to be a distraction, especially natural hair. Because when my fro's out, like you look at my hair. So a lot of times they don't want, the hair to be the center of attention. They want it to be the garment that you're wearing. So a lot of times I have to keep my hair, in a ponytail or a bun, slick back. So I have that, but I have done a lot of shows with my natural hair being out. But the first few shows that I did, they specifically recommended that my hair be slicked back. A few have asked for my hair to be straightened. When they do, I kindly, say that I don't straighten my hair, and that's something that I don't do. So if they require that, I kindly decline and offer that, can I just slick it back? Yeah, but I am not straightening my hair. That's who I am. My hair is a part of me. So I don't mind, putting in a different hairstyle to like slick it down, but I'm not going to straighten my hair, to conform to, your beauty standards. So, yeah.
Girl's tough too. So she definitely ain't taking no shite from nobody.
Nope.
I want to get into your love life.
Married. You want the juice?
Yeah, I want the tea, and I want it hot.
Let me take a sip before I get into it.
I want you taking a sip, guys. I just want to thank all those of you who have joined us so far, who are viewing. Thank you so very much. Don't forget, if you miss the start, you can get the rest of the show in its entirety on my website. That's jaeljoseph.com/plog. That's plug. I want to say special thanks to the folks who've come on. I want to shout out, Elon is on. She says late, but still here. I also want to say hi to Iola. Iola has been trying to get to watch the show for months, but because the data service back home is really, really bad, in the sense of it's not easy to stay on for long times because your credit gets drained. So she's been struggling to log in, and she's here today. So she says she's tuned in for 2 seconds. Maria. She also says, Juanita, your skin is glowing.
Thank you.
Also, Kahina Green is on. So she's saying hi. Hermine is on. Keep up the good work, Jael. You are awesome. Oh, thank you very much. Marie-Therese Green is on. Nita, you're doing good so far.
Hey, cuz.
Linda Joseph is on. Known Juanita from Mr. Tit Days. Always gorgeous. So you have
thanks.
coming on, and thank you so very much, guys. I like the fact that this group of people today, they know when to send their messages. They just be like sending the messages. No, now is a good time to send the messages. Yes. Thank you so very much, guys, for tuning in. If you also, don't forget, you can also listen to the show in 24 hours. So if you want to download the link, you can do so in 24 hours. And all of that is on my site, right? And all the information is up for you. I want to big up Juanita one time, because she has a puppy. Is that your puppy?
Yes, Freckles. Yep, that's Freckles in the background.
Freckles. Every time you see Freckles look like karate. Like if Freckles was no nigga, Freckles is getting cooked.
That's my baby. How dare you talk about her like that? She's not a rat, okay?
No, she's not. I'm just joking. Freckles is lovely. It's a cute little puppy, but let me tell you, if she was in Dominica, man, they might take her from her.
You are so wrong for that.
God. So Freckles is here with. Did you dress her up today?
I didn't. She's actually downstairs barking at someone, so I'm gonna leave her. Yeah, but she might make an appearance later on. Yeah, she might.
Okay. Now, before we made my little announcement there, Juanita was gonna give us all the tea on love and living lovely. So tell us a little bit about the love life.
Okay, so I'm married. I've been married. Actually, we celebrate our 6-year anniversary on the 21st of this month. So we've been together for 7.5 years and celebrating our 6-year marriage. Yeah, so my husband is Mackenzie Lewis. He's Haitian, so sac passe.
How did you guys meet?
So we actually met in college. We both did retail. We worked at Banana Republic, and we met there. Then we lost touch for actually like a few years, and then reconnected. And after we reconnected, 6 months later, he proposed, and the rest is history. Everyone thought we were crazy, by the way, for like, you know, he proposing, and then 6 months after the proposal, we actually got married. Yeah, and it's been 6 years.
Well, you're like, you're not wasting any time on that.
Yeah, I think he said that. He was like, I lost her, so like, no. Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, everybody tend to want to put a time on things, but you know when it's the right time, when you feel like it's the right time.
Exactly.
And put 6 months, 6 years, you know, it's up to you. At the end of the day, you have to feel like it's something that you want to do.
Yes.
Getting engaged in 6 months after, it's funny because you can meet people and you feel like you've known them a lifetime.
Exactly.
So it doesn't. There's nobody can define that. Nobody can.
Right.
Say, oh, you take your time. You know. Because look at people some people who've known each other for years. They get married and then it doesn't even last. You know?
That's true too. Yeah. Yeah.
They can't make a commitment after a long time. You know, like you think it's really gonna last a long time. So,
yeah,
that's true. For nobody, because somebody might say I turn shit for my boyfriend because we've been together for like 7 years, and my aunt and everybody always says, "So when are you getting married? When are you getting married?"
Good question.
And it's not even like we don't want to, and it's just not something that.
When you guys are ready, it'll happen. Trust me. Like, yeah, it will happen when you guys are ready.
You know, and he was on last night helping us with all the technical stuff.
Oh, nice.
so your hubby.
I thought you were talking about your boyfriend. Yeah, he was. Because when it comes to computers, I like know nothing. So he's not here today. So I was like, babe, please make sure everything is in, so that we can start on time and we, you know, everything will run smoothly. So he definitely hooked it up before I left. So thanks, babe.
You seem to have a very busy life. How exactly tell us, how do you juggle your personal life and your professional life? Your professional life is just not just your professional life. You're a PA and a model, right? And both are hectic schedules. How do you juggle the two?
It's definitely really, really hard to juggle the two, but it starts from just like having that mindset. When I'm at work, it's all about my patients and I'm in work mode. But I know once I leave the doors of my job and I'm on my way home, when I get home, it's about home. So spending time with family and my husband, like I enjoy the time with them and my focus is on them. And sometimes my husband and I, our schedules get really busy and we don't get to spend as much time. So we definitely travel a lot. Like we try to travel at least 2 to 3 times a year so that we can, you know, keep the spark going and make sure we spend that quality time. So it's definitely important separating the two and making time even if it's as little as, a few minutes in a day, but just making that time for that special person in your life is important.
I'm going to ask you a question that you might find odd. Mm-hmm. Do you cook?
I do. You'll be so surprised. Yes. So
I know
I actually started cooking when we first met because
you're like,
no lie. No lie. Because growing up, my mom was always the one cooking. So, and I was never in the kitchen and she never demanded that I learn to cook. So I never had any interest. But once we got engaged, I started looking up recipes and he was my guinea pig. I would cook recipes for him. I was like, babe, does that taste okay? And just started practicing. And now I actually enjoy cooking for him. And Haitian men love their food. They love to eat. So thankfully, I got a lot of years of practice from when we were engaged to now. So yeah, I definitely cook. And I cook because I work and, I'm always busy. I try to cook in portions. So I cook for at least 3 days. And then, so at least he has food. So he has food on the days that I'm not able to cook. But yeah, there's some days that I'm too exhausted and he understands. But for the most part, yeah, I cook and I enjoy cooking.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I have a few Haitian friends and I know they like their food.
Yeah, they love food.
They love off their food.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've talked about the modeling life. We've talked about the PA life. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your foundation.
Okay. So I had a really great foundation growing up. My parents, my mom and dad instilled God from day one. And I think that has carried me through everything. Just having faith and establishing that, relationship with God was so important from an early age. So that foundation of faith has definitely gotten me through so many hardships, so many accomplishments and things that I thought I wouldn't be able to get through. But they instilling God in me has been the best foundation I could have ever asked for.
Oh, that's beautiful. You currently have a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I started this non-for-profit organization called Marvelous Movement, and the name is actually in honor of my mom. So I lost her 4 years ago to cancer. So I wanted to do something, as a way of giving back and also to honor her. So after just, seeing the devastation of Hurricane Maria, on Dominica, I wanted to help. So initially it was just, a supply and food drive at my job and just encouraging, my colleagues to help out. And I'm like, why not just continue it? I mean, that's something that, is a process. I know, a lot of Dominicans are still recovering, but at the same time, my way of giving back, because I'm not home and, I'm in a better place where I can give back. And I just wanted to continue it. So, yeah, I started this non-for-profit just to help out families. And it's basically supplies canned foods, medical supplies, and clothing to families in need.
Do you actually pick the families? Is there a screening process or how does it?
So I haven't come up with an exact process yet. I pretty much just select. My goal is to target a specific area in Dominica. So I've targeted Petite-Savane, have some family there. So I sent a barrel there. Then I also targeted Roseau. So my goal is to, target at least a family in each part of Dominica. And hopefully with the success of that, branching out to other Caribbean islands and, making it a regional and hopefully international organization.
Awesome. That is so cool. May God bless you. And my condolences again goes out to you.
Thank you.
Of your mom. I lost my both parents, so I know what it is like. It's them both in the same year.
Oh,
One in December. So
that's hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's tough.
But it's life. It's life, and it's good that you could take your mom's memory and create a beautiful way you help others who are in need. So that's amazing. That's absolutely
Thank you.
What's happening next, Juanita? What's next for you?
So yeah, definitely this non-for-profit organization, taking it to the next level. I want it to be something big that, people will, hear the name and like, oh, I'm familiar with that. So I definitely want to, branch out internationally. And I definitely want to continue to work in modeling and do some shows internationally. I've been published in quite a few magazines. And I've worked with great, designers and photographers. So I want to do some more editorial shoots, more shows internationally, and just grow in all aspects of my life. So in medicine and modeling, I just want to, be the best version of myself.
Any babies?
That will come eventually. You sound like my dad right now, who's like, where are the grandkids? I'm like, Dad, you have freckles. And he's like, let's not go there. But that's what, that'll come. But there's no rush. My hubby and I are like really enjoying each other right now. And so when it happens, it happens. But yeah.
Wow. It was really lovely talking to you, Juanita. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed having you as my final guest to sort of take the curtain down. I'm really grateful to you. I just want to remind the guests, the fans looking on, or the friends and followers looking on, if you want to ask any questions, you have about 2 minutes to ask your question.
Oh, Freckles is here. You guys want to see Freckles? Come, Freckles.
Yes, we want to see Freckles. And tell me, tell me Freckles look like a rat.
Hey guys, here's Freckles. She does not look like a rat. Isn't she adorable? She's a long-haired chihuahua, by the way.
I'm just teasing you. I'm so disgusting. That's
Told you she would make an appearance eventually.
I know. When you said Freckles was gonna sit down, I knew she was gonna come up.
Yeah, she came up. She made her appearance.
Yeah, but it was really a pleasure having you on the show today. I know you appeared on a recent magazine. I think you were the face of a recent magazine. Tell us about that before we wrap up. Tell us a little bit about
the magazine is called International Face Magazine. So they reached out to me and, they were like, we're really impressed by you. We would like to feature you. So yeah, they reached out to me and I sent them my bio and my info. And yeah, they featured me on their cover as as their July issue. So it was an honor to be, the cover of their magazine talking about my medicine and modeling career.
Oh, that is awesome. That is so good. Lydia Joseph is saying, no, she don't. She is cute. There she's referring to Freckles.
Thank you, Lydia. Thanks. Thank you.
I love Freckles. Every
I don't know what kind of love that is.
Every time I hear about a chihuahua or a dog, you remember that commercial, Yo quiero Taco Bell?
Yes, it was a chihuahua. That was probably Freckles' cousin. That was probably her cousin. She could have definitely done that commercial.
Oh my! So every time I remember a friend of mine, an older friend of mine, would always make jokes when that commercial came on. Mm-hmm. And he's like, if you in Dominica, your chihuahua would be in my chihuahua.
Oh gosh.
Wildlife, yo.
No. You guys are wrong.
I know.
You guys are so wrong.
So every time I see a chihuahua, that
what pops in your mind.
That comes back. Because of that. But I love puppies. I absolutely love puppies. And Lydia, Freckles is as cute as a button.
And she's turning 5 tomorrow, by the way. Yeah. So
happy birthday,
Freckles.
You know what is interesting is that she has her hair, like the long hair,
she's a long hair chihuahua. She's not like your typical, chihuahua that's like short fur. So yeah, she has long hair.
Yeah. So that's kind of cute. And you dress her up and all, right?
I do. She's going to have an outfit tomorrow. So guys, look out for her outfits. They'll be posted. She'll probably have 1 or 2 or maybe 5 because she's turning 5. So it kind of makes sense. She'd have 5 outfit. I'm still thinking about it.
I have a cousin who has I don't know what type of dog it is.
Mm-hmm.
But she's in Miami, and the
Mm-hmm.
dog sings, and like on,
What?
so you'll put on a song, and it goes,
Yeah.
oh, to the song, whatever.
Oh,
Like
Freckles need to step up her game.
to
What? She's
the beat. I was so
nice.
shocked. Like,
Yeah.
he taught the dog to sing to all different types of music.
Oh,
Like,
wow. Yeah.
ooh, and it's going off, and I'm like, okay.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
When she says, she'll say hi, say hi to mommy. She puts up her paw.
Papa, to say
And
hi. Oh, wow. I'm impressed. I'm
yeah,
impressed.
she trained that dog like it was like.
I mean, they are.
God. But it was a pleasure having you and Freckles on our final show. I want to wish Freckles happy birthday. It's all love, eh? It's all love. I just like to trouble people. Well, you see, I even include.
There you go. Thank you so much for having us. Oh my God, it's been a pleasure. It was such a pleasure, having me. I was a little nervous,
You were?
I was, yeah. I was definitely nervous.
How do you feel now?
I feel a lot more comfortable. I think you're my second interview. My first interview that I've had was on the radio, so it was a little bit more comfortable. I was in, my comfort zone. So this is a first. So thank you for being my first, online, yes, interview. Yeah, so we definitely, finishing up the month with a bang. So thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for being here, and I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best in your nonprofit.
Thank
I
you.
all the best in your PA life. I wish you all the best in your career. I'm looking forward to seeing you on TV someday.
Thanks.
It's so funny because my sister has a friend, one of her good friends, because my sister's wedding had like a handful of people, and one of her guests in a really big position up here in Canada, right? So I'm like, I know him, so whenever he comes on TV, so I'm looking forward to one of these days when I see you on TV, I'll be like, I know her,
And I'm going to say the same thing. When I see you on TV, I'll be like, wait, I know her. I interviewed with her. Yep. I know her. Yeah, so I'll be saying the same thing. I'll definitely be, rooting for you and supporting you. I wish you all the best as well in your career and everything that you're up to.
Thank you. I really want to, preach and promote women promoting women,
Yes.
And I think it's important for us, especially as people of color, to uplift each other, and motivate each other. I remember most of the big deals, so to speak, in my life, when I was in Canada, were not coming from women of color. They were always, Caucasian women seen, or women of different ethnicities, seeing potential.
Right.
Saying, hey, you want to do this? We could do this, and we get a lot of hate from our own kind, and
yes.
It's unfortunate. I want to break the trend. I don't think it's trendy.
Right.
I don't think it's something that we should do. I don't think it's something that benefits us in any way. It's
agreed.
It's latching into a bunch of negative energy, and it's not being productive. You're not helping anybody go anywhere. I just feel like we need to, if more women of color helped each other out, or rooted for each other, the world would be so much different. Because a lot of women of color, I find a lot of us to be so motivated to be more than we are. And if when you're on your way there, you should take somebody with you.
Agreed.
How different things are going to be.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, I love seeing women just being celebrated and doing big things. Like, I see on my timeline all the time people graduating, doing all these big things, and I'm like, congratulations. Like, I feel like I'm winning too when they're winning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it doesn't take away from you when you support other women. It actually empowers you. So why not do it? Like, it doesn't take away from you. Like, support each other. Like, it goes a long way. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes the people that you least expected are the ones that support you more than the people that are close to you. But I would just encourage everyone just to, support, your fellow friend. It goes a long way, and we have nothing to lose, but everything to gain.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose. And speaking of support, I want to remember or remind a few of you, especially those of you in the New York area, just coincidentally that Marie Claire Giroux, who is like a really good friend of mine, she was actually on the show earlier. She was actually my third guest on Cacoa. She's an opera, jazz, and fusion singer, Dominican girl, and I want to encourage you to go out and support Marie Claire on August the 4th. She'll be at Joe's Hub. That's on 425 Lafayette Street in New York. So if any of you on my timeline, you're in New York and you have nothing to do, or you want to find something to do, and you're looking to show support to Marie Claire on that day, that is Saturday, August the 4th at 7 p.m. You can also go on her website or her Facebook page to get some more information on tickets and how to get your tickets. I also want to big up my girl Jody Dublin Dangaban out there in Dominica. I just wanna Jody's expecting her a baby anytime soon, but I'm actually just trying to find the picture or the post. Today or yesterday she was honored by the World Bank funded Women's Innovators Network of the Caribbean. She was the valedictorian. She has her own company, JD's Naturals. So she does hair products.
Natural hair. Hey, I know Jody.
And Jody can work on hairstyle. I always wonder how she does.
Yes, and she has a full head of hair and so healthy. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. So big up to Jody. Another woman doing her thing out there in. Jody was actually, I did 2 767 Girls Rock. So the first 767 Girls Rock, she was one of my girls on that show.
Nice.
It was the first time I was meeting her and all of that. That was back in 2015, right before Erica, when we had 767 Girls Rock. It was her and Tamara Lowe, Fadina Frampton, and Gilda. They were my 4 first ladies. And I also want to big up Fadina. Fadina has her show in the spotlight, and Monday she'll be having Dr. Esprit, who was part of my show for the last 767 Girls. So she'll be having her on her show on radio. So if you follow Fadina on Facebook, you can definitely look out for her stuff. She'll be doing her thing on there. I am grateful to you, grateful to everyone, grateful to all my guests. Every single person. Sometimes you reach out to people and you get different types of feedback in terms of whether or not they're going to be part of a show or not. And I started off this and I wasn't sure if it would happen, so many different things, to do, so many different obstacles, and it worked. I did it for 3 months. I had fun. It was a great experience. I got to meet a lot of people, and more importantly, I got to introduce you guys to wonderful people. People who are doing things in the world. Probably some people you've never met, you never knew, or you didn't even know that. Hey, that person doing that too now. You didn't know.
Yes.
I got to introduce so many different people on Cacoa Tea. And I want to say thank you so very much, everyone who came on, everyone who shared, everyone who viewed. And if you're looking on right now, I want to encourage you to share this link right now. We want everyone around the world to know about Juanita, to look out for her, to actually, say when they see her in probably a couple of months, probably in Milan, they're gonna be like,
yes, speak it.
That model, with some bald head girl, So, share the link, show your support to all of the people who have been on. You can always go back and view all the videos. Everything is on my site, or will be on my site. Well, in terms of Juanita, it will be on in 24 hours. But I'm grateful to all my guests. Thank you very much. If you were a guest of Cacoa and you're looking on right now, thank you very, very. If I didn't thank you enough, thank you again. Thank you so very much. Thanks to you, Juanita. And I mean, a lot of times people have to change their schedules to be on the show. They switch shifts. They've done so many different things to be part of it. And I'm really, 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 really grateful to every single one of you. And I wish you guys all the best. I like to say limitless skies. That's like my thing. I like
that.
Limitless skies only. A lot of people say the sky's the limit. But when does the sky end,
I like that. Limitless sky. That's nice.
So I want to wish you guys all of only good things. Only good things. A friend said to me once, wish them everything that they wish for you. For them, wish them everything. Only good things. I want to wish you all the best. And thanks again, Juanita, for being here with me, and for making that connection and for coming on and sharing a little bit of your life. And I hope that a young person out there, they're looking at you, they're probably a dark-skinned girl with lovely curly hair or with a big afro, whose skin glows like crazy. And they've probably been told you're probably too dark or you're not tall enough,
right.
And just believe that you can do anything, you can do whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. And nothing happens before it's time, eh?
That's true.
Happens before it's time. So you might have to meet a lot of shite on the way you need to get to, but nothing happens.
Very true.
Just keep your head held high and press on. Right? I want to thank
very well said.
The person who tuned in, all my fans, all my friends, every single person who've been on my timeline, who contributed to Cacoa. And thanks, guys. Cheers. From my Cacoa.
Cheers.
Every single one. I am saying goodbye now, and I'm gonna say goodbye because I'm smelling bakes. My cousin's mom just made bakes. So I'm saying goodbye.
Well, thanks again for having me. It was so much fun. Oh my God, it was a blast. The nerves quickly, went away. So I want to say thank you for having me. I love what you're doing and promoting positivity. I wish you all the best in everything that you're doing. And I just want to encourage everyone, no dream is impossible and it's never too late. Don't think oh, I could have done that when I was 16. It's never too late. If you feel like you need it and you have a dream, go for it. Nothing's stopping you but yourself. So thanks again, and I love you guys.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.